here today with Al and Ricca Wong, owners of the newest jazz venue in Ottawa, Jazz at 248. Welcome, you two.
Hey,
Thank
Hi,
you,
good
thank you. Good
morning.
morning. Yeah.
Good morning. Yes, I can't believe it's morning. I mean, I've been up since the crack of dawn, doing all
Oh,
the things that I do pre-interview, as well as doing all the other things I have to do in the early stages of the morning. So it feels like it's the middle of the afternoon for me. I mean,
sounds like a lot of work.
You did a lot before
Yeah,
us. We are just looking forward to today speaking to you.
yeah. I actually just got up. We had a late night, so
oh no. Well, hopefully it was a late night doing music because that would make me happy. I am a music person in the sense that I appreciate music for everything that it is, especially jazz music. I enjoy all the different facets of jazz. And for you guys, it's twofold. And this is the thing that's interesting for me and where
Yeah,
I want to start is that not only are you the owners and the proprietors of a jazz club, but you
yeah,
also play the music. And
yeah,
so
we
that
do.
makes it that much more interesting. So I have to ask, where did the idea for the club come from? Start with that.
okay.
Okay.
We went to Japan some years ago and checked out the jazz venue. It was a holiday actually. We came across a jazz bar which had the same concept. But it was a high level jazz club, meaning all the professional players and all the best players in Tokyo would actually go to that small venue and jam and sort of cut each other off with their skills, and you'd see a great mix of players, and it was nice, as a listener, you get to see so many different musicians showing off their stuff, and it was quite interesting, meaning, you never know who's the next pianist that's gonna shock everybody on stage, or the next saxophonist. So what happened was throughout the night we saw a lot of fantastic talents, like for example, the saxophonist was this old man who could play any song in any key. I was like, wow. I felt so, as a saxophonist myself, I felt so poor, like musically, And I was like, how many years would you need to do that? Any song, any key. And then after this song or two, he hops onto the double bass, and it's the same thing. Any song, any key. I was like, what? And then he goes on to say, actually, I've been playing, music for many years and always back to any visiting international greats. And I was like, okay. And then the shout for the next song goes to the waitress. And then she was serving drinks halfway and she was like, oh, okay, okay, I'm gonna go to the stage now. I was like, what? And
And she went to the double
she went to the
bass.
double bass, and
She played a song because no fillers for the
there
bass.
wasn't any basses around, so they had to get a waitress. Well, she played. I wasn't sure if she could do any song, any key as well, but
But after the song, she went back to serving.
yeah. And so we had a chat with her, and turns out she was starting to be a lawyer. She was pretty young, like 19 or 20 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And we asked her, how many years have you been playing the bass? The double bass, by the way, the electric bass. She said, only 2 years. I was like, no. And she didn't refer to any iReal Pro or any
Charts.
fake books or charts. Uh, I've been playing for 28 years. I have to refer to charts because I can never remember my changes. I don't know why. Maybe it's the same. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough.
But on top of that,
Yeah.
so Elle visited that jazz bar together with me, and then he realized it's a jazz jamming concept. So he said he had to go back the next day. And because these people, they're jamming from, like, you're talking about weekends, they jam from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then,
No,
so
no, from
he,
6 p.m. to 6
oh,
a.m.
6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's the other way around. It starts from the evening till the next morning. And so he
Wow.
had to go back the next day, and there he see a different dynamic on stage. So it's a whole different vibe again. And then he said, I'm gonna go back again.
I had to go there every night
Because every
because
night
it was so nice. It was so great.
yeah, you can't get a place that, like, you can go, like, sometimes you really itch to play. And then it's that moment that you want to play. It's like, unless you make appointment with your friend to meet at your house or in a studio, and you have to wait for the availability of jamming studios. But for him, he was like, wow, I can go out any day I want and just to play. And then he did that for a good 5 days. Like he just kept going and going, and then that was the first time. And then from then he start to, he just want to play, and he make a trip again. We make another trip again we have to fly to these places, to do this.
Right.
And so when each time we come back to Ottawa, he will be like, okay, so what's next? I can't go out to jam anymore. And for L, his passion is he really want to have a place like that. And so we started looking around in Ottawa, and we realized the jam sessions are once a month. So we gotta put it into our calendar.
You're
We got
shaking,
to
right?
make sure it's available. We're available on that day. But we still appreciate these places who is
Right.
available for that once a month.
Right.
And we had to find out like, okay, this place is once a month, that place is next. And so it keeps going, right?
So we slowly learned that musicians were actually going to these places as the calendar rolls along. So
Right.
we saw that there has to be a gap to be filled. So yeah, that's why we do it. We did it.
So when you went to Japan, did you actually play at the club as well?
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, actually, I
So
did.
you just walk up on stage with your sax and you start to play.
Oh no, so they have a list,
A sign-up sheet.
a sign-up sheet.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, is there a list? Is there something on these sites, in these places that you sign up so that were you somebody coming to listen, you could look at the sheet and go, oh, it's just those guys. I've already heard them before, and you don't bother to go, but you go when there's people that, so you actually know who's playing when you go.
Only when you arrive,
Only when
you
you
look at the
arrive, yeah.
sheet. But again, we don't know the Japanese names.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes
We
sense.
just
Yeah.
look at the song title.
So some of them come in at 10 o'clock, some of them come in at 11 o'clock, So
Right.
you never know who's gonna turn up. So every night is different.
Every night is different.
Every night is different.
He
Yeah.
tried to stay till morning, but I think
I think I couldn't make it. After 2 a.m., there was this buzz in my ear, and then I was like, okay, I think I better go.
because he started early, and
Yeah.
he started early. He was happy that he managed to play a couple of tunes, and
It was pretty important to go early so that you get a seat. Otherwise, you're gonna stand and you're gonna get the worst spots. But having said that, I got there early and was eventually moved to the way to the toilet because
it's too packed.
it's too packed. Yeah, and I couldn't see anything from even when I stand up, you couldn't see the stage at all. So
But like for myself, I was pushed right to the back. I couldn't get out of the club. And I was like, what's the point when I can't see the stage?
Yeah.
But the thing is, the whole vibe in there is just jazz music. It doesn't matter if you can see it or not. It's just right above your head. The music is just keep going on and on and on. And it's different. The people call out different type of songs, different rhythms, different styles. And it's enjoyable just to be at the corner,
yeah.
at the toilet door.
If someone asks you, are you accepting money for the toilet? Do I have to pay?
Well, that's what you do. You say you have towels in your hand and you hand
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And you take
That's
like
the only
the
difference.
tips. You're the towel boy and the tips. Thank you very much. So at least you're making money while you're there at the club, right?
You just need one piece of
Yeah.
towel. They'll work.
And I observed at the place itself, it's not just musicians, it's also people who just want to sit there and listen.
Well, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't go up on stage. It'd scare the crap out of me, and I wouldn't do it. But I would love to go and just watch players get up there and just throw a beat out, throw a sound out, and it merges in your head as, wow, I didn't think these two people that even didn't know each other could play so well together, right?
Yeah.
And that's jazz, right? That's jazz
Yeah.
when you come together and you just play the tune and it becomes something new and something really different. And you call it your performance, and then I see people coming in as a group to just listen. I see solo, just one person coming in just at the corner, listen, and then they go off after some time. And we really want to carry this vibe into jazz at 248. It's like we want to have that, and we do have people coming in, like just one person, like he sit down at the corner, and sometimes we will say, hey, do you want to come and jam up on stage? He's like, no, I just want to listen to whoever that's playing. And there are people here like that too who just want to appreciate jazz,
Yeah.
live jazz.
So what made you choose? I guess you live here because that's why you chose Ottawa, because I know the Montreal scene and the Toronto scene, they have weekly jam sessions in numbers of clubs. I know
Yeah,
that I had just done an interview with a gentleman from Montreal, and he said every week
yeah,
on the weekends they have jam sessions in about 3 or 4 different places, and they just show up and they can play.
Yeah.
And people are there in throngs just to listen to them do that because they do. They'll go crazy. They'll play a sound. Somebody starts to play a song and they go, no, 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 this song. And they'll just drag it into the next
yeah,
song or the next way they want to play it. And the other players are going, no. And you'll see almost like a battle. No, we're bringing it back. No, we're not. We're going in this. And you get to watch that dynamic because it's not adversarial. It's almost, I get where you're coming from, but we're going to go in this. And you see the wave back and forth and you hear it. And it's phenomenal. It's
yeah,
that pure sound of music that isn't based on something that was written down and copied again and again and again. This is now the pure form. It's like a conversation with a complete stranger. You
exactly.
get to talk and the conversation can go in any direction. Same thing is true with jazz music when you have artists that are playing with one another that have never played together.
That's
It
right.
sounds like one of those very dynamic conversations. So I guess you picked Ottawa because this is where you're from, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
And
we live here and we didn't find such a scene here.
Yeah, there
well,
was.
that's exactly it. There isn't one. And I know that from talking to a number of people. There is no club like this that allows for jam. And I mean, if this is your vibe that you're going to be jam sessions all the time, you might eventually get to the stage where you'll have certain artists, you'll bring them, you'll say, hey, we're having a jam session, but it's going to be focused on you. So the one individual will come in and play
Yeah,
and
yeah.
do his jam, just sit and jam, and everybody's just there to listen to that artist, just going through his riffs, just doing things. I'm going to experiment. This is something old, but I thought of twisting it a little like this. So when he starts to go, and people can come up, like you guys could go up and just say, hey, do you mind if we sit down and throw a few notes in there as well? And if he's
That's right.
game, it's all for that. And his entire throng of followers would come just to see a night like that. And
Yeah.
you'd have to do really good advertising to get that out there.
We are
But
really
Still
that's
working.
that's the key thing is communicating it. Because I didn't know you guys existed until my producer told me about you guys.
Yay.
And I
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
about
email
places
me.
from talking to artists. Like they'll tell me, oh yeah, there's this club, there's this place, this is where they do jam sessions. In Ottawa, it's like dead air. Nobody says anything about anything here. It's like, oh, I have to go to Toronto. I have to go to Montreal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'd be really, really nice to start hearing people say, no, come to Ottawa. There's this club. It's small venue, but it is tight. It is just the place to be,
Yep.
for a weekend session. And you could work it from Friday night to Sunday morning.
Wow,
And you
that would
guys
be
never
great.
sleep.
We shall see. We shall see. We shall see.
That would be a great breakthrough if that ever happens.
Yeah, I'm sure that once it gets going, I am almost 100% certain you could have people showing up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning saying,
Wow.
I'm in here. I'm here to play. And then Saturday during the day, they're ordering in lunch, or you're bringing in, you're cooking up a storm for people, and no, this is perfect. I'm staying. We're playing right through till Sunday morning.
Yeah, music just keeps going.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully
yeah.
you see that kind of stuff here. Yeah, yeah.
And what would be really interesting with the permission of the artists that are playing, and I mean, you'd get them to sign something off, is you do this with a live stream. So you imagine you actually have a live stream of your venue playing these artists, and then artists see it all over the place, and they go, "This is the place to come. Look what's going on here. This is the place to come." So you have a focus on the digital world, those people that can't be bothered to get off their chairs,
Yeah.
but they see it and they think, "I want to see this live." I don't have to fly all the way to Japan to do this kind of
That's
thing.
right.
I can just go to Ottawa
Yeah.
and do
That could
this
be
kind
our
of thing.
pipeline,
Yes.
for sure.
There
Yeah.
has been some clubs in, for example, I think there's one in Osaka that's always live streaming it. Now, it makes me even want to go to Osaka just to see it live.
Well, exactly. Be part of that, right?
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
see
yeah.
the
Yeah.
vibe and you
It's a
see
good
the
thing.
energy,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's not the same thing as being a part of it. And that's the thing is it's what do we call it? Clickbait for those people that haven't yet felt
Yeah.
it, but they feel it they see it on the screen. They go, I have to go. I have to go.
Absolutely.
Be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, that would be so nice.
yeah. I think Smalls in New York has really been doing that. Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's a live stream. I think it's live stream of their performances, like
Yeah.
a 2-3 hour performance, and it makes me want to go there, you know.
I think theirs are recorded. I don't think they're live. I think they record because they go so late into the night. Nobody's going to be up. Well, the few people that are on the shopping channel
Yeah,
will occasionally listen to the jazz live at 4 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
Yeah.
But they probably record and send it out during the day so that you're watching during the day. Wow, that's nice. I'll go at 4 in the afternoon. No, you won't. It's on at 4 in the morning.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So, apart from the venue, now we'll get back to you and music.
Yeah.
When did music start for you? When did jazz become something important for you? And we'll start with Ricca. I want you to get involved here.
All right, so I'm classically trained, and I must say during my time I started learning the piano pretty late. I only started at 11 years old. But nowadays, right, people start at 4, 5 years old. I started only at 11, and I was just playing classical pieces, exam pieces, going through exams all the years, and until I started also to get myself involved playing in church, and that's where it started to open my eyes to pop, like chords, like literally just playing chords and knowing that I'm playing chords like A minor, G, or F sharp minor, and so I start to know friends, and they tell me, hey, listen to this album, listen to that album, and then when I heard some jazz pieces, the first question is I asked them, why does it sound so off? Because the chords become like so clunky and clashy. I was like, why is it not harmonizing, but it sounds so good? So I don't understand what's happening there. And but I had to do my own research, because doing where I grew up at, I don't have this kind of influences. Like we're always just listening to pop songs, classical, and that's it.
Right.
So I decided to get my journey on and find out a bit more. And that's where I discovered more on jazz music. And I had a friend who passed me a real book, a jazz real book. And I look at it, I was like, what? You guys are playing so many notes with this few details and information in a page? So then I start to know what is a major 7, what is a minor 7 flat 5, what is a minor with a 7, and what is 1 3 5. And from there it opened my eyes to look at music with numbers, because I was like, why is everyone doing 1 3 5 7 and not calling it C E G B? And so that's the formula. And that time I remember when I was growing up, there's no internet, like you have to go to an internet cafe to dial up, so
Yes.
and I managed to go to libraries, look at books, and I really pretty much do my own self-study. And in my journey, I was also previously a jingle writer, so I produce music for commercials and all, and that's where all these seventh chords, it comes in handy. So my journey started very slowly from there, and with the real book. And so it's really a lot of self-study until I bump into, also in a jamming session, and this is in Singapore. I met a jazz pianist, and I say, hey, can I take a lesson or two with you? And so, yeah, she guided me a lot, and that's where I learned way more and learn a lot in jamming sessions, like a lot. Why is because I think in jamming stage, there's a place that you can make mistakes.
Yes.
It's not like a performance show that you have to do it so perfect. And so I learned from a lot of guitarists, because in jamming sessions, the guitarist is always next to the pianist. And I go like, hey, how come we're clashing in sound? How come we match? So I learn on range, I learn open voicings, and yeah. And so from there, it's always open jams that I hop on here and there, and I always look out for open jams. And I think it's easy to find open jams because it's not in Ottawa then. So I picked up a lot. So that's my journey. And then I met Elle in an open jam as well.
Yeah, we met at such a place as well. So
We met at an
Wow.
open jam session, and I start to realize his solo lines. I was like, what is that? It's like, why does it sound so different from what I'm playing? So we talked a bit more, and we get to know each other more, and
Yeah.
we started dating, with music, and he taught me a lot of jazz theory behind the sounds that he's playing, and then that's how I slowly get into it, and then I became more of like a accompanist for his playing, and so we jam a lot together. We played more together, and so that's why now even in Jazz 248, we are like the duos there, and we still kept that going, and I find that it's lovely to get. We don't need like a lot of people, like just
Yeah.
two of us. We managed to get the song going, and that's my journey even until now. And I must say, I'm still learning.
Yeah, we're all still learning.
I'm
Yeah.
still definitely learning. And when
Yeah.
we have people who walks in to say, no, I sing, but I'm not really sure if I can do it. I tell them, look, we're still learning. That's why we open up a jamming concept. We are not putting up a performance with like, with this set of songs and you pay for us to do and we rehearse it well. But no, we do it on the spot. You learn on the spot. So we have jammers, including myself. Halfway through, I will go like, okay, I'm lost. And then we stop the music and say, let's do it again and try
Yeah, it's
this.
a very forgiving stage. Yeah.
So it's
The
it's
thing is, you shouldn't stop. To be quite honest, you shouldn't stop. If you feel lost, find your way back with music, as opposed to
yeah, that
stopping and
too.
resetting. Just
Yep.
simply take the keys and walk yourself back out and say,
Yeah.
okay, this is the comfortable zone. I'm going to start here and I'm going to start going. When you
That too,
stop and
yeah.
restart, it's almost like you're turning your brain off. You're
Yeah.
starting a conversation and you're talking about trees and you're going, where was I with the trees? But if you stop and go, where was I? It kind of makes the whole conversation broken. But if you say
Yeah.
trees, I remember there was something about a train and a bus, and then you go on,
And you
and then
kept
he's saying,
going,
"Oh, the
right?
train, right? How about this train?" And he's playing his train, and you're going, "I
Yeah.
like that. I'm gonna walk off
I
that way."
remember I remember 2 nights ago there was a singer. She came in and she called out a song with a key, and then she just sang through it. And while we were playing, I just told her, I said, we should have gone a key higher, but we were playing. After we're done with the song, she was like, I want to try the one with a higher key. And so that's where we started the song. We played the song again in a higher key, and she just blew it. Yeah, and it was so that's where we allow people to try things out, and then like you learn from, okay, this doesn't work, and we can do it again.
Yeah,
And so this
yeah.
is how I learn as well at open stages, open
Oh,
jams.
that's a phenomenal way. So now, Al,
Yes.
your journey in music. I want to hear where it started for you. I'm going to ask
So,
you another a kind of an odd question because I
yes.
asked this of any musician. I didn't want to ask Rika about this because she'd say, "Oh yes, there is that," and then you'd start a little.
Very
But most saxophonists they played another instrument. And this is the thing. Do you have a secret instrument mistress that your saxophone doesn't know about?
Oh, okay. No, this is gonna be a long one, but in summary, I started music late as well. I started when I was 12. So I managed to do jazz studies in Australia, back in Australia, and so I graduated. I moved back to Singapore to teach privately. So during university, that was pretty interesting. Got a chance to meet up with Bob Minzer and of the Yellow Jackets, and we
Mhm.
had a big band show back then. And so there was some scores that required me to double up as a flautist. So that was probably my only second and last instrument because it is so difficult. Maybe because I had a bad flute, or maybe because I just totally sucked at it. But it was just minimal. If you ask me to play a few notes on it, toot, 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 or something like that, yeah, that's fine. But no, there isn't a second instrument.
Okay. Okay. You have that history of trying out a flute, but it was sort of, no, that's not my thing. I just
No,
really
no, no.
can't. But I
It's
tried
really,
it. So no.
yeah, it's really wonky. The whole thing about it. There isn't a strap to it. There isn't yeah, that was about it. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, funny enough, I just couldn't remember all the changes. I remember in final year they had us memorizing about 50 or 100 standards, and the exam was like literally they'll call out say 10 out of the 100 standards, and I have to play the melody, both the melody and improvise on it. But I just couldn't remember. I don't know. It just maybe I'm a lazy person, you know.
No,
It's
no.
like after the exam, yay, and then everything goes out of the window, you know. So to this day, I still refer to my charts because I just can't remember them, you know. And then yeah, I guess that's a really big limitation because when someone calls out even an easy song, I have to refer to it. It doesn't look very good, but I told them sorry, really sorry. This is just that one disability I have, you know. Other than that, yeah, I could sight read the melody, no problem, any speed, you know, and improvise on any chord changes, you know. That's fine, but yeah, just the memorization. I don't know why it's a
So
really
if somebody started playing a song that you remembered, would you be able to play it? Play along with them?
I mean by ear, yeah,
Yeah.
but that would be a hit and miss, right? You know, what if they change to something else and then I'll be like, ooh, you know,
That's jazz.
and
Come
then
on, that's
yeah, I know
jazz.
it
That's
is, it is,
exactly
it
what
is,
it's
it
all
is,
about,
it
right?
is yes, it is yes, and then I'll just tell them, oh, sorry, I gotta serve a drink. Sorry, be right back. I gotta
I'll
excuse
be
me.
right back. I'll be right back in a
Okay,
second. Just the walk.
okay. Yeah, other than that, yeah, so that's my story. Yeah, yeah, just
So
teaching.
both of you started using your instruments, learning your instruments at 11, 12.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
But was music around you before that? Were your
no.
family members musical? Did you have music when you were young, like playing all the time around you that you felt this draw towards music? Or was it a reading household and a studying household, and we don't have music until you're ready to play an instrument, then we're going to get you involved in it? How did that go in your childhood?
Uh, I came from a non-musical family.
Really?
So yeah, yeah. So one day my uncle just says, why don't you go learn an instrument? You know, I was like, okay, it's gonna be between the violin or the saxophone. So I've got a neighbor. This was many years ago. We're talking about the Jurassic era or something.
Yeah.
Uh, we had a neighbor who played really bad violin, and she was like the whole day long. And I was like, okay, the choice is clear. It cannot be the violin. So the saxophone it was, but it was a tough journey for me. Although it's a pretty easy instrument as compared to the violin or the piano, I nearly quit it three times, yeah. Because of rhythm, because of an embouchure, because
Well,
of
I was going to say it's an
yeah,
easy instrument if you get embouchure right,
yeah,
because
yeah.
the reed, you have to be able to do the reed correctly.
That's
Otherwise,
right.
it's burning your mouth. Every
Yes,
time you play, you get that burn.
everything.
See, we're a saxophonist. You get it here in the bottom lip. You
Yeah,
get it at the tongue sometimes, and it's like, I can't do this anymore. But if you
yes,
play it right, when you're playing it right, you don't feel anything. It's like I'm
that's right.
making music by just breathing. Oh, wow, this is crazy.
That's right.
Whereas on the keyboards, I'm sorry to say,
Just hit
I've been
it.
told I have the fingers for keys, but I get on the keyboard and my brain has to split in half to play, the right
Yes,
hand and the left hand because they don't play the same. Unless you're doing chopsticks, then, 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 your
Oh,
hand is doing
chopsticks.
the same motion. But as
yeah,
soon as you
yeah.
play something else, all of a sudden it's worse than typing on a QWERTY keyboard.
That's
Your
right.
hands are going in different directions and you're doing different things, and your brain has to be in two different places at the same time, which is I understand why Rachmaninoff's The Rack is the hardest thing in the world to play
Yeah,
because it is
absolutely.
so separated and differentiated that you almost have split brain syndrome when you're
That's
playing that
that's
thing.
why I tell people, for the first 6 months, if you're learning piano, it's very easy. But after those 6 months, it's gonna be hell, man. For the saxophone, it's the opposite. The first 6 months is
It's tough.
very difficult because
Yeah.
of the weight, because of the embouchure, because of equipment.
Your tone.
If you learn the saxophone on a really bad setup, with the saxophone leaking and all that, it's not gonna help. And so the first 6 months is gonna be difficult, but after that, it should get easier and easier. Yeah,
Yeah.
it should.
Should. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Unless you start throwing complexities into
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah. I
like
mean, there are some
improvisation.
similarities here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So for you, Rika, 11, before 11, were you a musical household? Or
No. It's
no?
only on my mother's side, it's only her sister, my aunt, who plays the yangqing, the Chinese harp instrument.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, the yangqing. She plays that, and she's the only one who learns piano and plays the organ and plays the yangqing. But my parents are like tone deaf. They don't know what's a tone. They don't know what's a pitch, and my mother is always singing at her highest pitch. Yeah, so My mom just, because in our household, for girls, normally you go for ballet and piano. So I'm one of them who goes for ballet and piano. And so I just kept going because I think like that's a learning. You like it's a privilege to get piano lessons.
Mhm.
So I just kept going, not until when I started to play pop songs and pop music, and my mother just go like, "Why are you playing piano like this?" You know, because they don't understand. But from there, I just kept going, and my mom said, your piano playing is turning very strange," because what they know is just like classical,
Yes,
like
yes,
giving
yes.
Bach.
Etudes and Bach, Beethoven,
Yeah,
and
and
yeah,
so
yeah,
you play some inventions, and they say that's great, but if you invent something else, they will go like, "What's that?" You know.
yeah.
But I'm grateful for friends that I know, the circle of people that I mix with, and that is where it got me going. If I'm gonna just stay with my family, I think it's not a bad thing to be in classical, you know, but it's just a whole new dimension of knowing what's improvisation, what's different sounds, that is just another big universe of music, and that completes more things, like, you
Right.
know, completes your interest, and that's the thing that motivates me further. Yeah, because I used to
So,
sit down in piano recitals and just listen to songs that are like how you interpret it, but it still sounds the same, you know?
yeah,
But when I go for jazz jamming sessions, it feels different. When I go for jazz concerts, you know the jazz standards, but it's played differently.
Yeah.
Like that is a whole new world to me. Yeah.
yeah. That's so I guess an influence for you would be Oscar Peterson,
Oh yes.
and an influence
National
for
hero.
you would be Sanborn, David Sanborn.
Nah,
No?
I would
Porter,
say
Chris
this
Porter.
has been always a very difficult issue. You know, there's so many good saxophonists. You know, but
Hmm.
I started off with probably about Phil Woods, Richie Cole,
Oh, okay.
yeah, along those direction, and then and then suddenly when I heard Brackett, I was like, whoa, okay, and then you go like Chris Porter and those type of players are very learned.
Right. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So more interpretive players as opposed to like a David Sanborn, he does some interpretation, but a lot of his stuff is very structured.
Very structured and
And the people that you've mentioned are
yeah.
very interpretive. They play on whatever's going on. Like if there's a
Yes.
mood to something, they'll play to the mood. They won't play to the tune. And that's something I like about certain saxophonists is that you can tell they're not technical. They don't care about the technicality of the music.
Yes.
They're playing to the mood. They're playing to whatever's going on, beating in their chest at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
playing to the crowd. If the crowd is
Yeah.
moving to a certain beat, certain rhythm, or certain sound, they'll play to that.
We play with that.
Yeah, that's where
Yes.
it gets the
Yes. That's
music
right.
going.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
all
exactly, exactly. And the same thing with Oscar Peterson and the way he plays. He's got technicality. Like if you watch him, he can play an opus
yeah.
from classical music,
And
but
Yes.
then he can switch it and just walk it right over into a jazz session and something that's completely impromptu. But
yeah.
he'll just drive it over there. And I've seen on stage him do one of those that he
Oh,
started off and
this
everybody's
is
going, "Oh, are
a
we getting a
different vibe.
classical music piece?"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he just flips it. And he starts playing and he's got
Oh
that big
my
smile on his
Yeah.
face and the crowd goes and he goes, "Oh, okay, they like that. That I'm going with that. I'm going with that."
He's a national hero. That's why you see a very big poster of him overlooking our stage. You know.
We
Well,
have
actually, there's a statue of him at the corner as well
yes.
on Elm
Hey,
Street.
all
So
When
good.
we
yeah.
arrived
100%. Yeah.
Ottawa, we went there for a picture with him because he passed when we arrived here, so it's too bad, you know, but I
Well, you
got
shouldn't say it that way because people will think it's because you arrived that he passed, and it's like, what?
No,
no.
What?
no,
What did you
no.
do?
But yeah, I appreciate him and also some Bill Evans for his
Yes.
voicings. It's fabulous. Oscar Peterson is a bit too fast for me, you know. I got what is his fingers doing, you know? And Bill
That's his
Evans,
classical training.
yeah, yeah,
That comes from
exactly.
his classical training. And as I said, if you had mastered Rachmaninoff's The Rock,
Yeah,
you'd be able to do that kind of thing because your hands now you don't have to think through the notes. Your hands already
it
know
just
them. It's
runs.
experience,
It
and
just
it just
runs.
goes. You
Yeah,
know, when you think a thought and you try to articulate it by speaking, you find that everything slows down because your brain
yeah,
has to process.
Mm.
But if you just think about it, it's way faster. And for people like Oscar and other players, they don't think about the notes anymore. They simply have them
It's
in
just
their
an
head,
interpretation.
and the
Yeah.
hands do the work.
The hands
There's
do.
no more
It's just
interpretive through
more
the
of like
body to
how
make
they
it.
want it to sound like.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
goes from their brains to their ears, then their fingers.
Yeah. And they don't
Yeah.
think of how do I get it there? They don't think of how do I phrase
It's just like
that series of notes. It just happens the way they think it, which is so phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
you're thinking
probably just like eating and drinking to them, you know, you don't think
exactly, exactly.
Or brushing your teeth.
of brushing your teeth.
Well, I don't know about brushing your teeth. You're doing it too hard, too soft.
Oh yeah.
Is it a
That's also
medium? Is
annoying.
it a soft brush?
Oh yeah, I bet you're gonna think about it.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So here's a question for you, and this is something that I'm going to ask, and I want both of you to give me your opinion on this. What do you see your role with other jazz artists in the city? Now, we have some good artists and we have some up and coming artists. You had, I can't remember his name, Mr. Sakely in there playing when I showed up
Oh yeah.
at your venue, and he's an up and coming. Like he plays he plays well. He's only been playing what, a year, 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you see your role as club owners as well as artists in support of artists in Ottawa, the Ottawa area?
Well, it is always a stage, you know, for anybody who wants to come and, you know, improve on their chops, you know, or even just have a fun time singing on stage, right? You know, the stage is always open to them, and
Our
yeah,
role is to give that platform.
yeah,
So we want to have that platform for, in the first place, we want to build a community, like for anybody, right?
Right.
And we want to build a jazz community in our own place here. And so we have the stage there. So anybody who comes in, yeah, I spoke about like people who wants to learn and know more about jazz and want to just enjoy. But for the local artists and the professionals, we are having this door open for them to also be part of this community.
yeah,
So we have high school kids that came in. They found out about us, and 3 kids came in, started jamming. The next day, they brought in another 4 of them.
yeah,
So and I was there helping them to teach them like what is about following form, what is trade force, and how can we work out a solo. And then we started playing. And sometimes, like now, your question brings into my head, like if we have professionals like that, like myself and Elle, we are both educators, music educators. But so when we have that on stage and when we have the professional artist that comes to play a part of this, I think it will get the ball rolling to the next generation and the next group of people. And then that's where we keep it going. We don't let it die because the next generation is as important, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
And I'm talking about these kids who came in and they're grade 9.
yeah,
They are not like grade 10, 12, they're grade 9. Like they just first year of jazz big band in their school and they just want to try it out and find out more. And I said, this is so valuable. It's grade 9. How old is grade 9? It's about my age when I started, but I didn't start with jazz, but these kids have already started with jazz at grade
And
9.
they're pretty cute, you know. They came in and, you know, they picked the cover, and the first thing they did was to go to my library, and they started taking all the fake books and real books out, choosing the songs, and, you know.
And then so when they were there at the club, we have other good musicians who came in, grabbed the bass, started playing, and that's where they watch. So if we have our local artists, our another group of educators or people who plays music, when they do that, it's part of feeding back to the next generation. And so their existence and the way they play and their music, their style, will be the legacy. You know what I mean? It keeps the thing going, and that's our main goal is to build a community, and we really want
I
to.
like the term that you're building a community. Now there is a jazz community. It's very desperate. It's all over the place, as in disparate, maybe not the word desperate,
I think there
disparate.
there is jazz community
There are jazz
around,
communities
and
around.
Yeah,
they are part of our big supporters as well.
Yeah.
right.
So we do
Jazzworks is one of them.
Jazz Works. They are a community, and also the high school big band groups. I think they come and speak to us, and also universities, music clubs. But like you say, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
If we
And they
have
don't have this conjoining body that says, come
exactly.
here and be part of this
Yeah,
community.
and show
And
your
what,
existence,
yeah,
and show that you're part of this, and you want to feed in these people, you want to put in your knowledge into this place, and then you carry it forward, and we help you carry forward, and everyone will just help everybody carry forward, and that's where it keeps going. And I'm talking also about enlarging an ecosystem. So the whole place here, it's not just come and play, come and listen. There's more to it.
mhm,
We build relationships, we build collaboration, and it becomes a network. So
exactly.
what's beautiful is we have people who comes in to say, look, I would like to look for a singer for my gig or for my wedding. And I said, it's all shown here on the stage. You come in, you take a look, you build connection, you get the gig, you offer the gig. Or some people will say, hey, do you teach? Or can I learn from this person? And there you go. A teacher gets a student gets a teacher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so local artists, I know they deal way more than this. They want to promote their music, they
Yeah.
want to promote their name, their band, or they want to promote themselves as an educator or a person that carries music. So this place will be perfect for them, for professionals who wants to play a part together with us. So we want to be that hub for these people together, a central meeting place, central hub.
One of the thoughts that come to mind in terms of educating others and others being educated is mentorship. It's like you're building a community of mentorships where not only do you mentor others in certain skills, certain styles, into the music itself, but they also become mentors of others. So your students that come in that you help will go back and talk to the other students and say, hey, I got this help. Here's something you could try. And then they say, well, who did you learn that from? Well, come in. And now all of a sudden you've got a community of mentors,
Yeah.
mentors who mentor others. And you teach them that process of mentoring as well as the process of the music and the community and the spirit and the whole aspect of music, sharing their skill sets. You say that somebody comes in, I need a singer. If you had a listing that people come in and they say, yeah, sign here to say you have this, this, and this,
Yep.
play here, practice here, whatever you want to do. But if somebody comes in, do you mind if they reach out to you directly? Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now you're also that community hub where people can come in and say, hey, I need look at the
Yeah.
list.
That's right.
Here's saxophonists, here's pianists, here's singers, here's drummers, here's keyboardists, here's bass players, electric or standard bass.
Yep.
And they can look through the list and say, "Oh, I know that guy. I've heard that one." Or when are they playing again? When do they, I'm
Yeah,
going to
that's
come
right.
back in
That's
next
right.
Thursday, and they can come and listen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it becomes a community and no, what's the word? An organic community
Organic, yeah.
Yeah.
of growth of music that people can come and listen to the people they want to listen to, and also get surprised by the people they haven't heard before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you say, the mentorship, it's kind of like happening now. However, we are still waiting for more professionals to come in, or artists, or people who knows music, or music educators, I can call them now, to play a part, because we have people who in Ottawa, they are really new to this jamming concept. So we have a lot of people coming in to say, what is this
What is
about?
this place? And
So we have to spend a couple of time to explain to them, and as they watch the jamming session, they start to understand. Oh, you mean these people communicated on the fly? So we explain to them a bit more, and they got interested. They write into us and they say, how can I go further into this? So what Elle and I did was we put them into a small group. We link them up like these learners. They are also music enthusiasts who can play. And
Yeah.
so we say, okay, why don't you learn up these songs? We gave them a good 10
song
songs
list. Yeah.
to just listen and get used to that. I'll go and try. And then we have also photocopy machine at our place, because it's a jamming place. So you can actually print some scores or lead sheet. So they bring it back home, they learn it, and then what they do is come back here when you're ready.
And they use it on stage.
You use it on stage and you learn on the fly. You practice it on the fly,
That's fantastic.
because I think that's where you learn the fastest.
Yeah, because I was just telling this to somebody else the other day. There's two main types of practicing. I mean, for me, like there's self practice
Mhm.
and there's like the communal practice, you know. So I was just telling this with Dan, another great saxophonist from Gatineau. We were discussing how much self-practice is needed and how much communal is needed, you know, at all levels, by the way, you know, even at the top levels, you
Mhm.
need either or even both of them. So I guess for anyone, you know, you could do tons of self-practice, but you have to have that communal practice as well, you know, so that you see what's lacking and what could be improved in your self-practice. So this stage will be actually very valuable for almost all level of musicians, you know.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
one of the things that your stage allows for, and you can encourage from the people that are coming and using the format is bring friends that don't play to sit and watch you. Because what the
yes,
stage gives them, what that venue gives them, is the opportunity to play live. That
Yep.
correct.
concept of playing in front of people.
That's
Because
right. That's right.
self-practice, I'm sitting in my room with the door closed and I'm
That's
playing
right.
notes and I'm playing keys and I'm playing chords and I'm playing a song. Great.
That's
As
right.
soon as somebody's sitting in front of me, it all changes because
Change.
It all
now
changes. That's right.
there is somebody outside of me listening to this, and
Correct.
that's when it all goes sideways. Like I hear my voice in my ear, I know what I sound like.
Yeah.
To me, I have heard myself recorded and played back, and that's what I sound like. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. And
Yeah.
so to have the reaction of people sitting out there and you're playing and you get a reaction from them and it's I didn't realize I was that good or I didn't realize I was that bad. And
Yeah.
I need to practice more, but it's an entirely different experience,
That's
which
right.
is
Yeah.
phenomenal that you're giving that opportunity to
Yeah.
people
So
because
some
telling them
people.
here's stuff you can practice at home, fabulous, because it gives them things that they can work on skills
Yep.
That's
That's
right.
right.
as educators, listening to them playing and saying, here's some tricks and tips you could try is a second world for them because they never get that. When you're in school, people just say, here's the things, you play this by rote, and that's how you
Yeah.
hear
That's
school
right.
bands going, "Dun, dun, 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 dun," because that's what school bands do.
That's right. Yeah.
Here, you're teaching them the human experience. And then that third aspect is learning how to quell the fear in here as you're playing, how to leverage it to make it the music that you're playing as opposed to being the thing that hinders you from playing music. So
That's right. Yeah.
I
I've got
applaud
some.
that.
Yeah. I've got some people saying, "Oh, you know, it's just a jam session." You know, I hold jam sessions in my basement as well. You know, but I told them, but you're missing the listeners. You know, and that's a really big part. You could get your band in your own basement, yes, but something's missing. Something big is missing here, you
Yeah.
know. And I guess it's a win-win situation for the listeners as well. You know, listeners they get to see so many people play different things, and then for the musicians they get listeners as well. You know, and they get a good stage. I hope.
But when you jam, especially for jazz music, there's other things that you can't teach, and that's learning how to communicate
Yeah,
with other musicians.
yeah,
So you can play with your own band and you already know each other so well that you
Yes.
know this person is gonna come up with some funny magic halfway through his solo, that kind of thing. But when you're playing with people whom you have not met, you have to really communicate. And I like it when especially drummers. I think that day there was a drummer that came in and I was doing
Yeah.
some improvisation. When I was soloing, at some point I was just putting in some hits in my solo. And the drummer totally got it. Like even though it was just that two bars, it goes snap, snap, and it go ta ta and then ta ta one more time.
you could hear that the drummer was listening. Yeah,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was listening to my solo, and I was like, I felt so appreciative.
yeah,
Sometimes it's like for musicians, you just count the bars, you just make sure you don't miss, and oh, okay, 16 bars done, done. Let's go to the next person.
yeah.
But no, this drummer, he was new, he just heard of us, and then he came in. I was like, oh my gosh, you were listening to me.
Yeah, you
And
could.
that's communication, and you
Yeah.
can't teach that. You
That's
you
right. You
can't
can
teach
only
that.
experience, well, you were teaching it by
Yeah, I mean,
experiencing, by
at the
it's
fly on the
experiential
stage.
teaching, right?
Yeah, yeah. As
Yeah.
in you can't learn that in a lesson. You can't
Yeah.
do that in your own bedroom or your own self-practice. But when you go out there, you start to realize, hey, this person is doing something. I can try this out on the fly. And
Yeah.
that made the song really nice. And I didn't get that on video. I didn't record that.
Live stream, live stream, live stream.
That's why live stream is a good thing. When you mention it, yes, it should be in our pipeline.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's I guess my last question to you then would be, what do you see? What's the future? What's moving forward for jazz at 248? What's the direction you're going, and where do you want to end up? What's that pie in the sky goal you've got for the place that you've got there and saying that's where we're headed? That's the star I'm pointing at. So take me through the path.
Okay, okay, the most important thing is when we hit a big and steady community, then both of us will say, we did it.
It would have been worthwhile. Yeah.
It will be a long journey,
Yeah,
and we know that.
worthwhile. Yeah.
And that's it's not to be popular, but it's to have that community that says, look, you want jazz music, you want to learn, you want to promote, you want to be known, you come to this place. And that's what we're looking at our place in a far journey. But along the way, we want people to enjoy music for sure. We want our local artists to have that platform, to enjoy the same platform, because we know there's so many artists out there who are doing things on their own. Like they're really trying to set up their own name. They try to put up performances, concerts in different halls, and they're working so hard, right? But if we can be the platform for them, they come in here, they have a platform to do their recording, their music videos if they want to, and to promote their bands, then we also want to be helpful to them,
Yeah.
right? That's a good point to promote our local artists. And then of course our educators, we are also looking at teachers in bands, school bands, who wants to highlight their students in a public platform.
Yeah.
Because I know school bands are always having their performances in school, their school hall, and it's a very comfortable place, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
when they come out here, I know some kids, when they came to our platform, they were like freaking out,
Yeah.
but
I told them this is not a rough place, man. It's a very forgiving stage here, and
there was one kid who told his friend, he says like, don't worry, we don't follow the band scores. just the melody. I was like, wow, he totally got it. Like he totally
Yeah.
got what is this all about. And he kept telling his friends, just try one song, just go for it. And so if teachers, educators are also part of us who can take this platform, they'll be great. They will say, look, go here, go to this stage, play, enjoy yourself, and learn it with your ears. That would be great. And then, of course, for people who are working adults or teenagers who are studying in university, they're too busy to find a place like friends together and book a jamming studio to rehearse or practice. They can come anytime.
there's always a band waiting for you.
There's always like a place for you to play. Like we have also people who are working adults, they have family time. They just want to squeeze in like a 1-2 hour to just
Yeah.
come over here to let it out.
Yeah.
So this is also a platform for them to express themselves. So they do come after work, they come play something, and then they go like, okay, I'll grab a drink, I'll play a bit more, okay, bye, and then they just go off. So they want more playing time.
Yeah.
But at any time with whoever, they just want to get the song out in them. And then we also want to be a place for volunteers to come in here to be part of the community, to say, look, I want to grow the community. So I'm gonna help out in, of course, we encourage them in the music form. We have volunteers who said, I play the drums. Can I just come in here to help for 1-2 hours? And so we have that platform as well. And I think everything draws to a conclusion that we want to build a huge community.
Yeah, even before we opened the place, we actually got some emails here and there saying, hey, hello, I used to play drums, jazz drums, by the way, back in my home country. I would really love to volunteer at a place like this. It's great that you're opening such a place up in Ottawa. So we actually do have volunteers. I've got a couple of volunteers as well who are bassists. Bonnie and Michael. They said they're frustrated about the lack of playing time. And they're great. They come in once or twice a week to play for a couple of hours with us, and
Yeah.
they were great. Like literally, they were helping us putting flyers out here and there, and we didn't expect all this. It's a really good community that we have here. It's priceless.
Yeah.
It started even before we started. Like they come talking to us and
Yeah.
saying what they can offer.
Yeah, they got the same vision that we had, and it was amazing, looking at emails like that, and eventually we got to connect and all that kind of stuff. So we hope that the community would improve. Well, obviously, we do pay them for the fuel, but we're not at a stage where we could pay them a salary kind of thing. But
Right.
but
Right.
those will be in the pipeline. If the club does so well, anything could happen, and hopefully we get to see more volunteers and the enlargement of the community. That
Have you thought about reaching out? Well, this would be down the road when the club starts, it has its feet underneath it. You have a large community that's coming in on a regular basis to watch the jam sessions. Have you thought of inviting professionals from outside of Ottawa
Yeah.
even? Come and jam and show our guys,
how's it done?
explain to them what the situation is, explain to them that we have people that are learning. And you being here would help them because you could show them some of your stuff and they would absolutely adore it. They would play with you, they'd learn things from you. An expansion of the community outside of just the Ottawa area. All of a sudden now you've got people saying, "Hey, I want to come to your club
Yeah.
because I love what you're doing and I want to help these guys. I want to throw a little bit of me at them and see how they take that."
That's
So-
that's how the stage is built for anyway. Yeah.
Like I said, we really want the professionals, the musicians out there to be part of us. We are taking one step at a time. Definitely, they are in our list. And definitely we are even looking at like possibilities of having them conducting workshops, mentoring programs, and things like that.
Yeah,
That
the stage is already there, use it kind of thing. But
Yeah.
through in the pipeline, we're pretty busy.
the vision looks big, like
yeah.
it sounds big, but it's possible.
Yep.
And we want to make it happen. We really want to make it happen.
Yeah.
It's our first business.
Yeah.
We are learning at every point, from serving drinks to payment
To washing the toilet and
to remembering that the toilet papers has to be refilled,
Yeah.
to the cables, to our amps, and everything. We are really learning.
we hope Corey gets in Ron Carter to give a master class. Actually, the idea was like, Corey was saying, we might be able to get Ron Carter in, maybe. I was like, maybe that's good, and then I told this to some of my bassists, my volunteer bassists. They were like, "Oh my God, I hope he blesses my double bass, and he should give a master class as well since he's here, And I was like, yeah, I'll throw a feedback to Corey. Hopefully.
Well, I'll let them know. That's it. For everybody who's listening, Corey is my producer. So he's the gentleman that's been in conversation. And yes, to have somebody of that caliber come in and do a masterclass. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to show you stuff. I'm going to talk. Most of it's talking while he's playing, and then he plays a bit. And that would be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And have that kind of a thing once a month. Yeah, it's a once a month thing as opposed to once a week. But
And that's education, right? That's sharing of skills, and that's teaching. So workshops, definitely, yeah. And it's not just about jamming, but what's behind it. Like, how do you prepare yourself and to get on stage? And from jamming, like how my experience is, from jamming, I learn how to be someone better and better. And each time you go on stage, you just make sure you become better.
Yeah.
well, as you said, it's communication skills. It's a weird thing to call it because that's how I've always described music. It's a communication, it's a conversation around a table, and to meet strangers, meet new people, and learn how to speak with them, not with words, but with music, and just simply understand the phrasing and understand how to shift phrasing, how to understand how to shift keys, just to be part of the conversation, not to fight the conversation and try and pull it back in your direction, but to easily adjust and go in with theirs.
Yeah.
That's a learning experience that you cannot get through a class. There's no class that teaches that
That's right.
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm saying.
it's experience. It's the same thing as there's no class that teaches you how do you have a conversation with a complete stranger.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you teach that? The only way you teach that is sit people in a room and have a conversation with a complete stranger. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all.
It's an experiential learning, right? That's a
Yeah,
term.
that's we've said that before. That's exactly it.
Yeah. lot of ways of learning. I'm not sure if I answered your question.
You most certainly did. You absolutely did. You've taken it step by step up, and we've pointed at a star. We know the direction that you guys are going with jazz at 248.
Yeah.
We know that it's probably going to expand because I have a feeling that when the community starts growing, it may grow outside the walls of your organization and actually have you finding other venues to do other things. You may set it up so that there is a place where there's a learning place. You may wind up with, enough of a cash flow. And now we've got a studio as well. This is where we're going to do, you want to do recordings.
The larger community is to collaborate with other people, other businesses. Like
Yep.
we know there are good music schools out there who are also doing this kind of jazz education for their students. And we are linking up with them. We actually speak to them,
Yeah,
and
things
we
are still in
find
the
them
pipeline.
so valuable because they're doing the same thing as us in education,
Yeah.
and that's where the community grows, not just like people, but businesses as well.
Yep. And that's the way it should be, because once you link the people and their desire and their drive with organizations that are essentially that mechanism that's out there that they need to be a part of,
That's
now
right.
you've got the drive with the mechanism and things start to move. It really,
Yeah.
really starts to move.
And we are not looking at just standing alone. If we talk about community, we got to reach out, we got to
Yeah.
link and work together.
Yeah.
So that is what we're currently doing already. We're writing to people, speaking to them, and we're trying to put up ways
We try to
to
help.
work together.
We try to help as many people as we can.
That's phenomenal. And word of mouth is the best way to advertise, although there are other advertising means. Word of
Yeah.
mouth has to be spreading the value that you're putting out there.
That's right.
And that's going to move the bar for you guys
right.
considerably
So
once
Maybe
the ball
people
rolls.
from Toronto, Montreal will come here.
Yeah,
We
well,
don't go there.
there are players that come to Ottawa to play, and they're here for a couple of nights. Well, where do they go to jam? Where do they go to play?
Yeah.
Well, come to 248 and play until 4 a.m. You guys will be sleeping in the corner, but they'll be playing till 4 a.m. Jamming away. Oh man, that was fabulous. Thank you very much. Now we're going to go back to our hotel.
Yeah, if they stay till 4, I claim that. That's a good one. Yeah, and free parking all the way.
Well, that's true. It's night parking in downtown is
Yeah.
nothing. It's daytime parking that's a pain in the butt, but nobody's playing jazz in the day. They'll get up in the morning and go, okay, where's the nearest restaurant? We're gonna go coffee and breakfast, jazz breakfast, and then
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
We hope to see that. Yeah, we hope to see that.
All right.
Yeah.
well, you guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I really, really seriously hope, more than hope, know that you are going to be a success. This club is going to be a success. Your goals are going to be fruitful because there is a community out there. It just needs someone to bring it all together into one place. And I guess the onus is now on you to do that work. If you feel weight on your shoulders, it's because of that.
Yes. It's a good weight.
It's a good weight. It's an aspiration to work towards. It's not something that, people would look at and shake their head and say, why are you doing that?
Definitely.
Music and the support of music and the support of individuals that want to learn and play and those that have been playing for years, supporting them, helping them. It's an entire community that needs to come together and
come
work
together.
towards the same goals,
We all really
mentorship
work
together.
towards this.
Yeah, it is
We
well
all want
worth
this
the
to
effort.
happen.
Yeah. So I applaud the work that you're doing, and I'll be probably dropping by periodically. No, I'm not going on stage ever.
Hey,
I believe you can
the
sing.
stage is for you, man.
I have done my singing. I've already done my singing on stage. I've played saxophone enough that I will not do it again.
Oh. Remember we said it just now. The stage is for giving. There are guidance for you.
Yeah.
Yes, the thing is, the audience will not be forgiving hearing this voice sing.
No,
So
no. No such thing.
Wait, think about it
sure.
when you're ready.
Okay, we'll go with that one.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you very much. I hope that my audience hears you guys and comes in support of you guys, comes out to see the work that you're doing, comes out to see the band players come out and play, and maybe they'll get the nerve to come out and go on stage at your place as well. It'd be an
Yes.
absolute fabulous thing for them and for you and for everyone else that's involved. So,
And-
again, thank you very, very much.
And thank you, Easy Jazz FM, for having us today.
Yeah. West Coast Jazz Radio.
It's fabulous. I think people are noticing the tracks that we play in our club,
Yeah.
and they go like, "Oh, what song is that?" And then we know how to answer. We just look at the screen, the names, the title, artist names, and the song title is there, and they go like, well, "What site is that?" So we are so grateful
Very,
for
very
that radio.
good selection of songs and personnel on the
Oh,
radio.
fantastic.
I actually play it at
Fantastic.
home all the time these
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because we support local artists as well. So a lot of national artists are on the site that most people haven't heard about. But
Yeah.
we also have international artists, which is the reason why you guys, even though you're in Ottawa,
Yeah.
international community will be listening to you and listening to this conversation. So,
Yay!
yay! People
Yeah.
from Japan will be coming to your club to jam.
Oh, I hope so.
Hopefully.
They'll be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. That'll be fantastic. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see that because I know that we are listened to in Japan. We have a large following in Japan. So hopefully someone will hear this and say, I want to go. I'm going to jazz at 248. I want to play there. And you'll be, I know you. I saw you on stage in Okinawa.
I mean,
Yeah.
why not, right?
Yeah.
We see those kind of things happen, you never know, we're still growing and we hope to see all these kind of things happen.
Well, I hope for the same thing for you guys. So thank you very much again for being on the show. And thank you very much for speaking with me. It's been a great pleasure of mine. So I
Thank you.
appreciate you for everything that
Thank
you
you
do.
for having us, yeah.
Thank you too.
Thank you. All right. Bye for
Okay,
now.
have a good day.
Thank you,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.